And we're
Yeah.
on. Woo! Stoked, stoked. We're so
Ah,
stoked about the Pipe Masters. I mean, I guess it's not Pipe Masters, Pipe Pro.
not anymore. Billabong
Yeah.
Pipeline Pro.
Ooh.
And
Welcome to
it's
the bro.
not in memory of Andy Irons anymore.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
That's even though Axel gave the award. Anyway,
Yeah.
first things first. Welcome to the Brazos podcast. This is episode 2. I am Ran. This is my friend Diao, aka Coruja. We're straight from Brazil, representing Brazil, straight from Brazil. I am representing, I don't know who I'm representing. I'm representing Brazil in Utah.
At
As you
this
can see,
moment.
yeah, as you can see, there's a big ocean behind me. An ocean now. Yeah, but today we are talking about so many fun things. We're talking about Pipe Masters. I mean, the Pipe Pro, Jesus Christ. I'll never stop calling Pipe Masters. We're
Yeah.
talking about the overall event, the men's finals, women's finals. Obviously, we're gonna talk about the GOAT. The GOAT is the GOAT. I mean, he stole the show for sure. And we're gonna do a quick review over all the Brazos performance and among some other athletes that we thought did really well. But yeah, man. Saying that, I want to pass the ball straight to you. Uh, I love the contest. I love the event. I thought it was one of the biggest pipe pros I've ever seen. I mean, I haven't seen
Very.
them all clearly, but the weight and the strength of the swell was incredible. So I just want to hear first your overall impressions about the event and how did you feel? Did you love it? Did you don't love it? Please tell me everything.
Yeah, man, it's good to be back here with you and with all the guys that are watching us today. And man, this event was amazing. I mean, I can't remember a better Pipe Pro ever in my life. Watching on TV, I think maybe 2014 was close to that one when
Yeah,
Medina took
there was a
the
big
the,
one
the world
too.
title.
Yes.
But I think WSL did a very good job on changing at the end of January and February because we were always having not that good conditions in December at like as we call the early season, and then in January we got used to see like the most pristine conditions for the shootout at backdoor or even the QS, the Volcom Pipe Pro. So having the CT there at this moment, it was the best thing to do, and this event just proved that they were right doing that with those waves, man.
Yeah,
Uh, every hit was so exciting.
and the cool thing about it, it's like I was watching with Suzanne here, and even for like non-surfers, like like in the surfing world and understanding, it was super exciting to watch because we were just looking at the stats come in over and over, like holy shit, look, 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 and it's like
Yeah,
we're like at this like every 30 seconds, like oh my fucking god, oh my fucking god, oh my fucking god. So yeah, I mean, I was surprised they didn't run the event on Friday because apparently they didn't run the finals on Friday because uh, the videos for the free surf were incredible. I think everybody's seen, man, what's the name of the big hoe guy, the 64-year-old one? Sorry about that. That caught an epic barrel on backdoor that everyone's like freaking out about. Do you remember that? Uh-oh, are we frozen? Ruja, can you see me? Can you hear me? E? All right, we're back. Technical difficulty. Heaven knows what's going on. We're
yeah. You're saying
talking.
that even non-surfers or non uh, people that don't watch surfing that
Yeah,
frequently were amazed with that contest and
yeah.
the
It was
waves
just
and
great.
everything.
It was just great entertainment, and like every barrel, every make was exciting. Every wipeout was exciting because you
Yeah,
saw like, so
everything.
it was great. I was just saying like, I was surprised he didn't run the event on Friday
Yeah.
because the videos from the free serve, I forgot the big Ho member. Was it not Derek, the 64-year-old Ho
Oh,
that
Michael Hole. Yeah,
Michael
Derek
Ho caught the
is not
barrel?
with us anymore.
Yeah, Derek passed this past year. Rest in peace. Dude, his barrel at 864 was insane. And like that
That
was
was a 10.
Friday. Yeah, that was a 10. That was a 10. But very soon we're gonna talk about like older guys ripping. But yeah, I love the event. I love how it ran. I love the swell was incredible. Overall, before we jump into Cali and all of that, like I want you to pick someone from the men's side and from the women's side. I think the women's is very obvious. One surfer from each gender that you were surprised by the performance in a good way, and others that you expected a little more.
Oh, that's hard, man. I was gonna touch a point about the like the waves,
Yes.
because we saw heats with plenty of waves, like lots of waves, people like wasting waves, and
Seriously.
some heats were slow, like surfers didn't have that much opportunities, and that's surfing. That's surfing. It's
Yeah.
gonna happen all the time. It doesn't matter where you are or the conditions. But then going, well, for your question, and thinking about on the women's side, as you said, I think it's pretty obvious. And actually, I don't think Moana was a surprise. So I think for me, the positive surprise for the women's side, I would say I liked the way Isabella Nico surfed,
Mhm.
like the way she got
Yes. He
into
was going
small
for
barrels, but
yeah.
very nice style and flow and managing their speed. They don't get very deep in the barrels, but I think she surfed very well, even on turns. And Moana, of course, man, she's the specialist there. I had her on my fantasy teams because for me she was a favorite. So she was not a surprise. And I think for not, I don't like to say the negative side, but someone that I expected a little more at pipe and backdoor, I would say Tatiana.
Ah,
I
damn it.
think
That was my pick
she,
as well.
yeah, but we can talk about that. Because she's a very good barrel rider, and I think she got a little she like I think Moana got into her head. They had
Right.
a year ago they had,
I
do you
remember.
remember that
I
problem that
remember
they had?
the
She
little
dropped
fuss.
in on Moana and they
Yeah.
like fought or something like that, and I
But
think she
at
got
the
a little
time,
nervous.
yeah, at that time, I remember this is it's great that you bring that back. I thought Moana overreacted a little bit that
I
time,
actually,
but at the same time, I get it. If I was on her in her shoes, I would be upset too.
yeah,
But yeah, same. I was disappointed just because she's a local, and I thought like on the heat, she didn't really like put up like a strong fight, in my opinion. It
no,
was like nothing was coming together. And yeah, like the reason why she's kind of a letdown is even though I mean she's Hawaiian, right? So like we're expecting a little more from those surfers there. The same way when an event is in Brazil, we expect a little more from the Brazilian surfers because we know they're used to the conditions and so on. But
yeah, and Tati does well in heavy conditions. She proved
right,
that in Margaret River last year. I saw her getting a 10-foot 10-point barrel in Hossegor, 2015. Yeah, 2015.
yeah,
Man, she rode the wave just perfectly. She just got a 10 for a barrel ride, and I really, even though she got more on her heat, and it was the heaviest draw she could have on that round.
right.
Still, as you said, I felt like she wasn't there for the competition. She was more
She wasn't
like
as fierce as
maybe
she used to be.
try,
Yeah,
yeah, trying to play maybe compete more than surf. I don't know. I
yeah,
just
no,
didn't
I
feel like
agree.
she was on her best.
Yeah, and at the same time, I think over the women's in general, there's a lot of pressure just for being the first,
Yeah,
event at Pipe, CT Pipe event there. So
it's
there's
the second actually, but yeah, because they
yeah,
they had they finished there, but yeah,
yeah.
it is the first complete one for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So it was interesting to see. So but yeah, I mean, I thought overall, even though the women's event ran on slightly smaller parts of the days, understandable. I mean, to
Yeah,
me, I
sure.
wouldn't even go even in any of those days.
No,
I'll be
no
terrified.
thanks.
So,
Oh,
uh,
maybe on the first day I would love to serve that wave, but
no,
not today for sure.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not that good. But yeah, kudos to them. And my favorite
They did well.
two. Yeah, my two picks were the same as yours, so I think we got it covered there. I think you brought it up, but like I want to hear your man's ones, and I'm super curious if it's gonna be the same.
Yeah,
Uh, or should I go first to make sure
yeah.
that?
Now it's your turn, man.
Okay, okay. I guess. Well, we're not gonna talk Kelly, right? Kelly, obviously, it's everyone's. You know, there it's
Yeah,
nothing. We're gonna go deep into that. But I think, I mean, Seth Moniz was incredible. I mean, I wasn't expecting him to do as well as he did. I thought he served extremely well. Obviously, being Hawaiian, I was expecting a little more from them. But considering his past results on previous events, I thought it was pretty awesome what he did. And one surfer, I was expecting a little more. Uh, was Italo. I thought Italo didn't serve very well on this event, even though the heats he won. I don't know when you have a surfer like Italo who have won the five masters in the past and has all that power and all that, you always have high stakes and high hopes. And yeah, I was expecting a little more from him, but at the same time, we have other highlights. I mean, from honorable mention besides Stephanie Ron Fabinho. I mean, everybody's gonna talk about that wave forever.
yeah,
In my opinion, the same thing with Kelly's last wave, the very last wave that he served in the final. I think it should have been a 10. I mean, when it comes to like a
sure.
977, 9.8, it's like we might as well just give it a 10 because it's like, you know,
Yeah,
the moment of the
I
heat
think
and
I
all
think
that.
they're prohibited to give cans anymore. You know, they
I
cannot.
know. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, because did we have any 10s on this event? I don't think
Yeah,
so,
we didn't
right?
have them, but that
Yeah,
wave was a 10. You know, was the last wave of the event, and
exactly.
what he did, like the takeoff, the
Elevator
late,
drop. Yeah.
yeah, the late bottom turn, the wave just over, like the falls coming over his
What
head.
else can you
He
be
said,
better?
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
man, Ross Williams said that if he was not Baldy, he was not gonna
Got a
make the
haircut.
barrel. You know,
Yeah.
I guess he was gonna get
Yeah.
have a haircut.
He was gonna get a haircut
Yeah,
from the lift. Yeah.
but
It was
yeah, I
insane.
agree, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
agree with you, man, for sure. But I have more names because the men are more, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. But I
Um,
want to hear your favorite besides Kelly and the one that you expected a little more that didn't do so well.
yeah, like it's easy to talk about the ones that got into the finals because they were
Yeah.
obviously doing well the whole event, and Kelly is Kelly, so you always expecting to do well there. And then you have John who lost to uh, on fire Seth Moniz, and that was okay. He did his best and he just lost, and
Great
that's
heat.
normal.
Yeah.
Same thing happened to João Chianca. The guy
Right.
was dominating the contest. He just destroyed Jack Robinson, who was a favorite, and he just lost because he was John on
Right.
the best heat of the event. So,
And
but for
it's
me,
and I thought he was like, I want to say like he should have been John because I think overall John's second wave was better than Shonka wave, but I thought he was slightly underscored. I thought his second wave, which was a 6, I thought it was at least a 7,
yeah,
but that's just how things are
yeah,
sometimes.
that's Rook's thing, you know. That's Rook's
Yeah.
thing. Uh, I I mean, I didn't feel João as a surprise, and I'm gonna touch a name here that for me was a surprise because whoever already saw João surfing those conditions anywhere in the world
Right.
knows what he's capable of, and the guy is nuts. His brother is the world
But the
champion
thing
of
is,
big waves, and
we have to take
you
in
know,
consideration too that like because we're Brazilian, we're more aware
oh yeah,
of
sure,
him. So maybe for
yeah,
the surfing world, I think that was like a
Yeah,
big debut. You know, it's like
everyone's surprised.
it was like his baile de debutantes. You know, like his debut. Like, all right, big
His
stage.
debut.
I'm getting the number one guy, and I'm gonna score
I'm gonna
this highest
I'm
score
gonna
on the
try
stage. Yeah,
I'm gonna try to show you here, show you guys here, message from my friend Louis Rice, who lives in California. He's gonna be with us one day here talking about surfing. He's a very keen surfer, good surfer. But man, uh, look, uh, he says, oh, let me find this. I need to find this.
take your time. Take your time.
He says, "Damn, Joao, who is this kid?"
Yeah.
And I told him about him, and he said, "Man, you did well to pick him on your fantasy
Yeah,
team."
it's the same thing with Michael Stiblish last year. You know, I think if you're Australian, you're a little
Yeah,
more, he's a little more on your
aware.
radar. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
more aware. But if you're not, to me, it was like I'd never seen him before, and
yeah,
he was incredible.
and he
Uh,
was surprised. But for me, like the biggest surprise in my vision, my opinion, was Samuel Pupo. Man,
right,
the way he served, his hits on his backhand, doing like the guy's, I think he's 6'1", you know, he's
right.
tall, and he was catching barrels like no hands, bottom turning just below the lip and just taking off straight into the barrel and just coming out of the barrel with the speed or after the speed, very comfortable. And that guy surprised me a lot.
No, for
And
sure.
and
And considering he was a rookie, and that's his first CT event ever.
yeah,
That's
and even for
good
him,
event.
he was saying that like this event for me was my week event, you know, my
Yeah,
weak
yeah,
point, my maybe my throwaway, and now he has a fifth place there.
yeah,
And on the other
totally.
side, Italo was one uh, like he surfed against Miguel, and Miguel is a very good para rider.
Oh
But
my God. Yes,
the
please
way
carry on.
yeah, but the way Italo competed was not good. You know, he was
Yeah,
like paddling for every like 4 foot, 5 foot wave that was coming his way. He was not gonna get the score on those waves. You know, we had like 10 foot waves there. He was catching 5 foot waves. I'm a judge myself, and even getting the deepest barrel on the small wave, he was gonna
it's not the
get maybe a
same.
six
Yeah,
five, not an 8, what he needed. So he
and
didn't compete well, in my opinion.
for sure. And it's hard. It's I can see because we know Idolo. He always catches more waves than anybody on his heats,
Yeah,
right? He's a wave catcher. He always has pretty much the same strategy. But as you know, way better than I do, like it's not one size fits all for surfing, right? Like when it comes to like a heavy pipe where you have like a strong current and coming back, it's difficult and you can get caught and you can get injured and you can break a board and all that stuff. Uh, Maybe not the best day to do that,
yeah,
but at the same time, he won the Pipe Masters doing just that. So it's hard to judge him. But yeah, I agree. But I thought for the most part, besides strategy, his surfing wasn't like, he wasn't in sync with the ocean. He wasn't, and like you were
yeah,
saying, Miguel had a great event, man. Like I think Ross Williams was saying in the broadcast that he reminded him of Jerry Lopez, and I was like, man, that's such an honor. Can you
yeah,
imagine like because he's so smooth. Like that's one of like the Brazilian Storm, Miguel's always been one of my favorites because I always loved his style. He's clean, his like effortless, he's elegant in the wave.
yeah,
And I think in
totally.
pipe is just the perfect place to show that. So I just wanted to ride the Pupo train with you a little bit there and talk about
Sure,
uh
man.
yeah, like I think we were all dreaming about the Pupo final, right? The Brazilian final, which almost happened again with Caio um and Miguel. And that Miguel Kelly, he was really interesting too because even with the interference, he was still on it. He was like pretty close. So I mean, but it was written in the stars for Kelly, and kudos to him. And Kaio had a great event as well. I mean,
Oh,
you were
I,
all. I'm gonna give props to you because you're the one who always say like excellent barrel rider. Watch out for Kaio. And even though he never had like a huge result at five in the past, this was, I believe, his best result, and he showed everything you were saying for previous events. So nice one on that.
Yeah, but he is, man. Caio is like I won't say that he's fearless, but it's almost there, because he throws himself from under the ledges. He's not
He's not shy from it.
like no, and his ability in the battle. If you remember, like just after we record this, man, just go to YouTube and watch his hit against Jack Freestone last year at in Tahiti at Chopu. Just watch that, and then
Yeah.
you're gonna see what I'm saying. And when I saw he was like in this event as replacement for Gabriel Medina, I thought myself like, wow, that's his chance, because I couldn't believe when he got kicked out from Tour last year. He
Yeah.
surfed very well, and then he was not inside the cut. So now he is third
Well, he didn't
place.
serve. He didn't serve well the four events, the requalifying events, right? He did
No,
pretty
he
poor on
didn't.
this.
The Q,
Uh,
the challenge series now.
yeah, and I think it's interesting you say that because, for example, like one of the reasons I think I just want to go back to the Challenger Series to get on your part real quick,
Yeah,
because one of the things you were saying about the Challenger Series, I think everybody was expecting a lot from Matheus G because he did well on the city events that he participated, right? So I
yeah,
think that was the name we were expecting to see making the CT, and then when everybody got Joan Chianca, everybody was like, who's that? We were more well of Pupo of Samuel because of Miguel and all that. Like he had a little more brand name, but
yeah,
obviously the Shanka family had a big name on the big wave scene, but like and the CT not as much. And I think yeah, so the Challenger Series and Kyle falling off of it, it was all very. It wasn't the best Challenger Series for the Brazilians.
no. It was first time they had this
Yeah,
format, and yeah, definitely wasn't the best, but still, like Kyle, now he's third in the ratings, and he has a wild card for
Sunset.
Sunset. Yeah, because he's replacing Gabriel Medina, so we know that Gabe is not gonna be at Sunset. So
Right.
Kyle is it's in, and now he has a better seating, and he did well in the past at Bells Beach. He did a final with Jordy. He did a semifinal at Margaret River, so he knows how to surf powerful right-handers. Not as like Bells is a powerful wave, but it has a lot of room to turn. It's a large face, and he did well there. So I expect him to do well at Sunset. Maybe like if I'm saying like fifth place maybe,
Yeah.
and this will place him very high in the ratings,
I
and
know. So I have a question for
maybe
you.
he is gonna qualify for the rest of the year. He's gonna be on tour the whole year.
Okay. Okay. I have a question for you exactly about that because to me it's confusing and I'm sure it's confusing to other people. So maybe you can like straighten this out for all of us.
Yeah,
Because I know in the past there was rules where like if you get a wild card and it scores well on I think Ozzy, oh, Ozzy, no Ozzy, one of the Owen brothers qualified that way, where he came as a wild card, scored really well in one event, and
it was Mikey, right?
Mikey Red, thank you, and proceeded to qualify for the next year, right? So
Yeah,
let's say Kyle does well in Sunset again. Could he keep getting wild cards for the following events and be on the contention for the title? So that's question number one. Question number two is okay, let's say he does well again in Sunset and he doesn't get a wild cards on the event, but still makes the top 22. Would that possibly qualify him for the CT next year? Do you have any details about that? How does that work?
yeah. Like in the past, wild cards they like didn't get they not they like they were not getting points for
Right,
the ratings. They were
right.
just like as Bruno Santos won at Chopu in 2008. He didn't get any points. But I think from 2 years, yeah, I think since 2020, I think, yeah, 2020. Now wild cards they get points, so it doesn't matter if you are a wild card, you're getting points. It happened to Moana. She's the leader. She's wearing the yellow jersey next event, man.
Crazy.
And yeah, and that's gonna happen to Kyle. He has a third place. and he's gonna get his place. He's gonna compete at Sunset because Gabe Medina is out. And if the organization, like the directors on WSL, if they want, they can keep calling him to the next events, because we know that there are guys they are injured, like Liam O'Brien, Ryan Callan, Iago Dora, and if Medina call him off next event, Portugal, and then in Australia, because we don't know what's
So
happening with him.
basically,
He will keep
getting
his
the wild
spot.
card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. But if Medina comes back in Portugal and next events in Australia, then it depends on WSL to ask, like, say, Caio, we're gonna give you another chance, as you are like top 5 on the ratings, and we don't think it's fair if you're not competing.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure if he gets a 5th place at Sunset, man, he's probably gonna be between like inside the cut, the 22.
He's probably gonna be on the tour, right? Because that would make him like super high. Yeah. I mean, that would be so cool if WSL did that. I'm not even saying for Kyle because he's Brazilian, but just for it would just mess with the tour in a really fun way. It's like you have this guy that was completely out, like back to the QS, and all of a sudden, like he's prime time. Like he's getting like top places and he's on. And also like at the same time, like he has nothing to lose, right? Like he already won it all just by being there. So I can imagine how excited he must be to be able to compete in Sunset.
He was very emotional after
I saw
his quarterfinal. He was crying and he couldn't believe what's going on.
Because he came in last minute too, right? Like he was like a very last minute invitation, so he kind of had to drop everything.
Yeah, they called him 6 days before the event started. 6 days.
And he was in Brazil, right? And like we all know that it's not simple to get to Hawaii from Brazil.
And then
it's a lot of hoops. Yeah.
He had some boards, as everyone has boards in Hawaii, and he just got some boards in California, like some Rusties. And then just took them to Hawaii. And man, like he deserves a lot. I mean, he's a good guy and he works hard to be there. Yeah. He's not. He was never a Brazilian who had a big fame here in Brazil or a big hype. He's
under the radar for sure.
Yeah, totally. And same as like Miguel is the same. He's living here, like he's my neighbor.
Yeah, I heard.
Man,
But I think Miguel in the latest years since the Brazilian, especially last season, I think he got some performances that his name even though he's like 28, he's not a young guy, or 28 or 29. I feel like he's
30 already.
He's 30. His profile keeps growing and growing and growing. I feel like he's one of those surfers that he's getting better with age, and I hope he stays on the tour for many years, because we may yet to see his best to come.
Yeah, sure. Like one thing I always felt about Miguel, he was not the best competitor. He was sleepy.
Yeah,
like people were like, I remember my friends on like WhatsApp saying on the groups, like, what's he doing? Is he asleep? He's waiting for what? Like the guy has 3-4 waves above 6-7 points, and he hasn't surfed like any wave yet. So what's he doing now? You see he's competing much better. Like he's a family man, he has 3 daughters, and I think like he just switched his mindset for a better competitor, because the surfing was always there.
The surfing is so there, and like we said, like we know a lot of guys that are radical and that are awesome, but he has the flow, he has the style. So if he can put the 2 and 2 together and make it think like he did on this event and some events of last year, especially the one that I think was in Mexico that he did a really great result. I don't remember, but he could win events. He has that potential. I think it's just a matter of him like sinking all that in, and maybe with some motivating him, he can get there. Sure. All right, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we go to the main dish?
Yeah.
We go to the main course. All right. So I want to start with this question, because we all know Kelly's the GOAT, but I want to bring it a step further, and I want to throw this question to you. Is Kelly Slater not only the greatest surfer, or the greatest athlete of all time?
Ah,
Please.
I always, yeah, man. I always thought yes, but after yesterday, I'm
Even
pretty
more.
sure, man. Yeah, yeah. Like last week, we saw Tom Brady retirement, and I think he was, or he still is, the closest to Kelly. He has
Right.
7 rings. He just moved to a small team and got the Super Bowl. And doesn't matter who else he plays with, he's always there. He's always on playoffs, and he
He's always
was,
challenging. Yeah.
yeah, he's always challenging. And but Kelly is his first team. It's an individual sport.
Right.
Uh, you dealing with nature, the power of nature. Uh, your shape, your body, and your mind, especially, they have to be in sync. They have to be like so well for you to do well on your surfboard as a competitor. And Kelly, he just proved us that he is the greatest athlete that has ever stepped on earth.
I agree.
He's
I agree. I think it's like, I mean, we can go all day about this, but no other athlete, because like people say, like, yeah, he's 11 times world champion for sure. And I understand there are other athletes that have like 16 gold medals on this sport and 16 whatever. But I think what people forget often, that surfing is a year-long competition, right? It's not just like one event or like the Olympics. And not to demerit any of those guys. They're
no,
amazing,
of
like a Michael
course.
Phelps, like a Michael Phelps or like those
Lewis
guys
Ham-
are
yeah.
incredible. But like they live in 4 year cycles and they prepare for this one event and so on. And the dude was the best in the world for over a decade, right? That's 11 years, where like a decade went through and one more. And he won his first Pipe Masters in 92. He's 50, right? He's turning 50 in a few days. Dude, 50. Like, I had to go on a climb yesterday. I'm 35, right? I climbed uphill 6.5 miles. I was dead. Obviously, I'm not in the greatest shape of my life, but I was dead. Like every today, I woke up super sore. Now imagine, dude, a pipeline with all the pressure in the world, like at age 50, the physically, mentally super strong. And you could tell that he was surfing relaxed. He was aggressive,
Yeah,
but he was
he
like
was totally.
confident and calm. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was a master at it. And I mean, his quarterfinals, he like, I was jumping here on my couch screaming, like, oh my God, I can't believe this happening. It was, yeah, I mean, what else can we say, right? I'll let you talk a little bit about it because I was just in completely
Yeah,
awe of it.
yeah. I think like I remember when I first got into surfing in '94 when I just went to uh, uh, place, well, like a magazine place. I don't remember how to say that in English, but we call that banquinha. And I
Newsstand,
bought,
newsstand.
yeah, there's that. Yeah, thank you. And then I just bought a magazine, a surfing magazine, because I was always um, into surfing on TV, or I was always like impressed and obsessed about waves and maps and geography. And I bought this magazine, and I remember it was '94, and I saw pictures of many surfers that I never heard about them. And then I started to buy those magazines every month, and then I start to like his name is always there, winning contests. Kelly Slater, Kelly Slater, Kelly Slater all the time. I remember like Shane Powell, other names, but Kelly was always there, like first, second, and then it got my attention. And then '95, I got my first surfboard, and then started to read a lot about surfing. And then I remember him winning the Pipe Masters in '95 against Marco Clupo, who was a wild card at that time.
Was that
And
the
then,
one that is the famous story where Aki was it a heat against Sunny and Sunny had to
then
win the
yeah,
heat, and
yeah,
then it
that
was
one,
that the one a high five with Rob as well? Was that in the
yeah,
final?
same
Yeah,
event, man. And it
yeah,
was classic. It was
yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
It's such a
And
good
Aki
one.
didn't want to win, He didn't
Yeah, it's
want to
like come
beat
on,
Sunny.
like
He didn't
if you guys
catch a
are
wave.
watching, yeah, if you guys are watching, Aki tells the story really well when he's interviewing Rob Machado on the
Yeah,
Oddcast. So
yeah.
check out that
That's
episode because it's
go
really
check
funny.
it. I'm
Yeah,
glad I'm not gonna touch that, but
yeah,
it's a funny one. And Aki is a funny character. But
so funny.
yeah, that and I remember that event, and then that's when he got his third world title, and it was third on the ratings getting into pipe, and he
Right.
had to win the event. That was the only option, and he did win the event.
And so it wasn't something like Sonny couldn't pass
The
the
third
semis.
round,
Yeah, third round.
third round,
Yeah.
only that, if Seti had gone through the third round, he was the champion. And Rob
Wow.
Machado got to the semis, and if he bet Kelly on that, he
Yeah, he
was
was the
he
world
would have
champion.
been the world champion. And then Kelly bet Rob Machado, but still had to beat
Win
Aki,
the final.
and when
Yeah.
that happened, so yeah, and then like let's say like 27 years after that, I was watching the Heat yesterday and the final. I was thinking about like that event yesterday. It was meant to be
Meant to
won
be.
by Kelly,
100%.
because if you
100%.
remember, man, like his heat against Barrow Mamiya was from
Insane.
like, man, it was crazy. He was
One of
losing,
the
he was
best.
splashing water, he
Yeah.
was defeated, but not in his mind. He was defeated on our minds, on our clocks, and on our expectations, because it was like a minute to go. You couldn't see any wave coming. He was splashing the water as
And
he always
Coruja,
did.
the
And
thing too, he led the first wave of the SAG go.
and that's it, yeah. And it led the first
He
wave of the
led
cycle.
the-
The guy is so connected to that place, and he was so connected to that moment, that he got that perfect wave, and he even let his hand let the rail go at the end, and
Yeah,
he just he,
incredible. Yeah.
he came out of the barrel with his arms open like these. It was a 9-2-3, like everyone was. I remember the commentators, I think it was Makua Brat when he was on the booth, and he said GOAT.
See,
It was just, man, he was tripping about Cali, because he was like, wow, what's going
yeah,
on? And then when Kelly lost the semifinal to Miguel, if you score the points, he lost.
yeah,
But he
right.
didn't lose because Miguel had an interference.
It's very.
So
It's
everything went his way. Everything.
it's like Ross was saying on the commentating booth, like it was just like Kelly moments, right? Like
Kelly
Kelly has
moment.
this moment. It's like where the wave turns to him, and that wave will come. Like 10 seconds in, 30 seconds, 1 minute, that wave will come, and it's just like it only happens to him. Nobody knows why. I'm pretty sure he doesn't know why. It's just
Yeah.
like the dude was born to like, because yeah, like you can prepare, you can position, you can do all these things, but like to know, because this happens to him over and over and over throughout the career. And going back to the greatest athlete of all time, I think one of the best ways to like uh, quantify that and to have a good case for it is to think about it this way. He's winning major events over the span of 4 decades, right? So 1992, he won his first World Pipe Masters. I think his first world title was 93 or 94 or 92, I don't remember.
92.
Okay, so
92.
early 90s, right? So early 90s. And then 2000s, 2010s, and now 2020s. So 4 decades, right? The dude is like
Yeah, it's
winning major
ridiculous.
events, and not just winning, like the way he won this pipe event, people are gonna remember forever. And yeah, maybe it's not as classic as the ones like he had with Rob or he had like with Andy, but the fact that at this time of his career, him making that is insane. And then I want to
Yeah.
throw another one last question for you. Of course, let's talk more about Kelly. I know you have more comments, but once you give your comments, I want you to answer this question. It's on his speech. Some people are saying, I was just watching Renan Rocha from Serial Fundos, like a Brazilian podcast as well, saying that there's a chance of Kelly retiring now. I personally don't think he will. Now he's on a roll. But yeah, what do you think? And please, if you have any more comments on Kelly that you want to add, go for it.
Yeah, I just watched his interview today, and I think he left in the air, like
Hmm.
he was not clear about retirement. I think he's still soaking in everything that happened. He's still feeling what happened, and I don't know what he was thinking before this event, but actually, I will not get surprised if he calls it a career, because it's gonna be so
Perfect ending.
like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
perfect. It's almost dramatic. And he's like at the end of his career winning an event at 50 years old, and he's not the best surfer at Sunset. He was never the best surfer there.
Ross
He's
was even
never.
saying he hates
Yeah,
it.
yeah, he doesn't like those kind of waves like Margaret River, Bell,
Yeah.
Sunset. He doesn't like. And Sunset, it's a hard way to read, to surf, and you need bigger boards. So we know that he doesn't like that and too much, and he will probably, if he competes there, is probably going with a different mindset this time, maybe trying to like it. But what I think he could, and I'm gonna touch a very sensitive point now. Um, he could now retire and call it a career, and that's it. Because if he tries to keep competing this year, then he's gonna have to deal with some things that Novak Djokovic is dealing about
Oh,
not
oh,
being
that's a
vaccinated.
very good point.
He's
It's a
not
very
gonna
good
be
point.
able to serve 6 of those 10 events, you know,
Oh my God.
or
Very,
yeah.
very good point. Very good point. I did
So
not think about that.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I think you make a very good point. I mean, I think Kelly, yeah, I mean, now you just made me think that he may retire, especially because of that, because
yeah.
that's one another. I mean, not especially because of that, but that's another element that adds. If he cannot compete to the
Mhm.
others, and because of that, but also like I could see him kind of bulging a little bit and be like, okay, fine, I'll take the shots or whatever just so I can compete. So I think it could go both ways, but it for sure strengthens the case for retirement. And
Yeah,
I just as a fan, obviously like doesn't own anything to anyone. If he didn't win this event, I'll still call him the greatest athlete of all time. I think this is just a
sure.
reinforcement. Yeah, he doesn't need to prove anything, but it would be awesome to see him at 50 in the top five at Trestles, just to have that number, that
Yeah,
like round number 50 competing at the top five. I think that would be super cool. But yeah, um, I think
yeah.
we covered.
I don't think he would be a world champion surfing with those guys at Trestles. But if the final was at like Tavarua, maybe.
Yeah, good point too. Uh, well,
But just
that's
being there, just being there would be a nice
I
thing.
mean, and like the thing is also like I think once if he goes to Sunset and with that yellow jersey and he gets a good result, then it's like because like we know Kelly, right? He's all about being on a row. If he gets on a row, then even for him, it's gonna be like, fine, give me a shot. Like
Yeah, sure.
I'm on this thing. I'm on this thing. But all right, before I'll let you go because I know we're almost at time. But I have two more quick firing questions that I want to hear from you.
Let's do it.
I I think we definitely want to do a Sunset preview episode or go deeper into
Yeah,
Sunset. But
sure.
I want really quick from you, uh, uh, two or three surfers that you think could do really well in that event.
Um, Man, John, obviously,
Yes.
Jack Robinson,
Okay.
and then I'll pick a Brazilian one as we are the Brazos.
If you pick the same as
Uh,
me, I'm gonna be so mad.
oh man, let's think about, man. Uh, I would say Felipe.
Ah,
I would say Felipe.
that was exactly the same. All right.
I think
Okay.
he can do well there,
Yeah,
man.
the only one I picked differently from you was instead of Jack. I mean, John is so obvious that it doesn't even count, right? But I was
Yeah,
thinking about Sunset surfers with good amplitude, right? Like
Jordy.
remember we're talking about Jordy's a good one, but I have another one in my mind that it's kind of maybe not as in everyone's mind right now, but because of the way he serves and his style, I think he could do really well.
I
It's
know.
Ethan Ewing.
Oh,
Ethan Ewing.
okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I was thinking about another one. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Totally.
because remember we were always talking about the amplitude, about those big waves, and it's the same like Felipe did really well in Margaret River, right? Because it has that kind of amplitude. So for Brazilian, for sure, Felipe, he didn't have a good event at Pipe. Uh, so yeah, those are my three picks. Obviously, John is the top pick. You said Jordy's a great pick, and for the girls, I'm hoping Tati makes a comeback because she has that strong, powerful serve. And I
Yeah,
think
she
if
does.
Stephanie,
On her backhand.
yeah, I don't know if Stephanie Gilmore is going to come back from her injury, but it's the same thing. She has the surfing with amplitude, so I think she could do well there too.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but you said
And Carissa, of course.
Curry's, of course, yeah, for sure. But that's a given. All right, man. All right, so Sunset's coming up. We're definitely gonna do another episode previous to Sunset. I'm gonna do more homework. I'm gonna see who's getting what.
Let's do it.
What are the brackets? I'm sure you will as well. And that's all I had today. I'm excited
Yeah.
for Sunset
And
coming up.
I will pick a dark horse for Sunset. The Hawaiian guy that didn't do well at Pipeline, but I think he's going to do well at Sunset. And I talked about him on our first episode, who's Michael and Devol. He did very like badly at Pipe. I was expecting him at least to get into like a ninth place maybe, but I think at Sunset it's going to be a different game for him.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
My dark
Uh,
horse.
Yeah, I don't have the in my mind, top of my mind, when the window for Sunset is opening, but probably a day or two before the opening, we're gonna be releasing an episode,
Yeah,
a
I
little
think it's in a
Sunset
week.
preview. So
I think
yeah,
it's
very
in
soon,
the 13th, I think. Yeah.
very soon, guys. For those that are watching us on YouTube, this episode is also going to be available on Apple Podcasts and other podcast uh, streaming, Spotify. We're working on that. If not by the end of the week, you start to be able to catch us there as well. And thank you so much for watching.
And we're gonna bring some
Some guests.
invitees,
Yeah,
some guests. Yeah.
we're gonna bring more guests as well. We're gonna do connection with other surfers all over the world. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.